Welcome back to the ultimate unknown WWE Iceberg, bro. I'm excited. Part 3. Let's just jump into this, man. Let's just jump into this.
We have the Seth Rollins.
Starting with Seth Rollins leaks, dude. This is huge.
In early 2015,
oh, Christ.
Seth Rollins was on fire, but a wild series of events eventually unfolded
This
that
sucks.
put question marks around Seth Rollins. His social media was purportedly hacked, resulting in his account posting a very revealing photo of NXT prospect Zara Schreiber, whom he was seeing
that's
at
a
the
rabbit
time.
hole in and of
Unfortunately for
itself.
Rollins, his relationship with Schreiber had been a secret because he was also engaged to a woman named
Ouch.
Leela Schultz.
Ouch.
His fiancée retaliated by posting a nude photo of Rollins.
Ouch.
This all happened in a whirlwind, while the architect held the Money in the Bank briefcase
Ouch.
and introduced discourse about whether WWE might pull the plug on his main event push, if
No,
not
why
cut
would
ties with
they?
him altogether. Fortunately, things cooled off after the initial storm. Seth Rollins
That
is now
sucks, though.
happily married to Becky Lynch. And up next, we have Chris Benoit bullies The Miz. In his early WWE days, The Miz faced
Does this need to be on the iceberg? Because he did. Everyone did, honestly.
significant challenges integrating
sucks,
into
though,
the
yeah,
locker
for
room
real.
culture. An incident that stands out involves The Miz eating chicken in the locker room, leading to severe repercussions. According to reports, Chris Benoit accused The Miz of dropping chicken crumbs onto a fellow wrestler's bag, which was seen as a sign of disrespect. In
This is
response,
so funny.
Benoit banned The Miz from the locker room, forcing him to change in hallways and even public restrooms for approximately 6 to 7 months. This punishment persisted until
that's
The
so
Undertaker
rough.
intervened, inviting The Miz back into the locker room and effectively ending his exile.
Jesus.
And up next we have Edge was cleared for entering action long before his return. Conspiracy theory. Many years before his
he did hit a spear on Elias SummerSlam 2019, so maybe it's true, but I don't buy into this one.
epic comeback, Adam Copeland, better known as the rated R superstar Edge, was considered one of the biggest names in professional wrestling. After a successful final babyface run, he was forced to retire in 2011 due to severe neck injuries. At the time, doctors told him that if he ever wrestled again, he'd be putting his life at serious risk. Edge stayed retired for nearly a decade, until he shocked the world by returning to WWE for the 2020 Royal Rumble, a comeback fans thought that they'd never see. But according to some conspiracy theorists, Edge may have been cleared to wrestle years early, sometime in the mid-2010s. This theory claims that WWE was aware of his improved health but refused to bring him back, fearing that another injury could lead to catastrophic consequences, both physically and legally. And back then, there wasn't a major alternative promotion in the US for Edge to
honestly,
consider.
is that
So instead
bad?
of going rogue, he simply waited, quietly sitting out.
Yeah.
That changed with the rise
You're
of
still signed
AEW.
with them, bro.
Rumors began swirling that AEW
Oh!
was interested
Oh. Damn, that's kind of crazy. That's an interesting thought, actually. Just because AEW came back, they said, nah, all right, maybe you can come back. All right, maybe now you can come back. Because he was signed. He was doing shit for WWE for a minute. Like, he didn't seem like he did, like, unhappy with that kind of stuff.
fighting Edge, and suddenly WWE moved fast. The theory suggests that WWE only cleared Edge for entering action out of fear that one of
I like
the
that
most
theory, though. That's
legendary
interesting.
stars
That's
might
very
jump ship
interesting.
to a
Interesting
fresh,
timing.
rising competitor.
Interesting timing.
And up next, we have Charlotte Flair.
Ah,
arrested.
shit, this sucks.
Before becoming a 14-time WWE Women's Champion and one of the most decorated female wrestlers in history, Charlotte Flair found herself in serious legal trouble, and it had nothing to do with wrestling. In 2008, years before her WWE debut, Charlotte was arrested and charged with assault on a law enforcement officer.
Jesus.
According to police reports,
I wonder if this is
concerned
before or
neighbors
after
called
the
911 after
WrestleMania.
hearing a violent commotion coming from the Flair family home. When officers arrived, they found Ric Flair, his daughter Charlotte, and her boyfriend in the house. Rick was reportedly bloodied and bruised, the apparent result of a physical altercation between him and Charlotte's boyfriend. Although Ric Flair declined to press charges, things escalated when Charlotte allegedly kicked a police officer during the investigation. As a result, she was tased by the officer and taken
What
into
the
custody.
fuck? I
At
didn't know
just
she was
22 years old,
tased.
Charlotte Flair was charged with assaulting a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest. Though she would eventually move past the incident and go on to become one of WWE's most dominant stars, the arrest remains as a lesser-known chapter in Flair's turbulent legacy. And up next, we have fans trying to attack wrestlers. There's been many incidents of fans trying to attack wrestlers.
This is so
but
crazy.
one of
I
those
remember
incidents
watching
was when
this
a fan
live, dude.
attacked Seth Rollins.
Oh
claiming the
my
wrestler had scammed
god.
him. During an interview with Mail Sports in June of 2023,
That's
Rollins had talked about this
crazy.
fan who tried to attack him during a Monday Night Raw in November of 2021. The fan had been catfished by someone who pretended to be Rollins and got scammed for thousands of dollars. Rollins said that he had felt very bad about this fan after learning the whole story. The security was a bit late this time, as the fan had managed to jump the barricade and tackle Rollins to the ground. But he was taken care of quickly and later was arrested as well.
Wow.
Another incident of a fan attacking
Dude, the
a
Bret
wrestler
Hart one
is
is
when a
so
fan ruined
wild.
Bret Hart's WWE Hall of Fame speech. What should have been an emotional moment for Bret Hart was ruined by one fan who somehow managed to get in the ring and tackle him down. He was
This
quickly
was
taken away
insane.
by wrestlers
I
and
love
security.
the cash
And up
wheeler
next we have
punch
the
he got
Roy trials
delivered.
of 1993 and 2007.
Oh, this is fun
In
topic.
1993, WWE chairman Vince McMahon found himself at the center of a major federal
The
investigation.
fucking
The
neck
U.S.
brace,
attorney
dude.
for the Eastern District of New York charged McMahon with violating federal laws regulating roid distribution. He was accused of distributing and encouraging roid use among WWE performers in order to enhance their physiques. The stakes were massive because if found guilty, Vince McMahon was facing up to 11 years in prison and
Holy.
a $1.5 million fine. The trial became one of the most infamous moments in wrestling history. Multiple talents were called to testify, including Hulk Hogan, who admitted
Wow.
to use, but claimed he had never received them from Vince. On the other hand, Nails, a former wrestler with a personal grudge against Vince McMahon, testified that Vince ordered him to juice, though his credibility was heavily
Yeah.
questioned. Ultimately, McMahon was acquitted, but the damage was already done.
Damn.
But the juicing controversy didn't end there, because in 2007, following the horrific events of the Chris Benoit tragedy, juicing in wrestling came under intense public scrutiny once again.
Yep.
The US Congress requested that WWE hand over documents relating to its juicing policy. At the time, law enforcement
juicing
targeted
policy?
the pharmacy that had supplied Benoit with juice and other drugs. While WWE was never formally charged with wrongdoing, the incident reignited concerns about drug use in the industry.
Now we got a
In
wellness
response,
policy.
Vince McMahon launched the WWE Wellness Policy, a comprehensive drug testing program intended to clean the company's image and protect its performers. The tragedy, combined with mounting legal and media pressure, also marked a turning point for WWE, as the company shifted into the PG era, a rebrand toward a more family-friendly product. And up next we have the death of Umaga.
Oh, this sucks.
Eddie
This
Fatu,
is sad.
best known as Umaga, was a force of nature within the WWE. A member of the legendary Anoa'i
Dude,
family.
it's actually crazy
He's
how
one
much like he was around for only like 3 years with the company, and like man, he left a fucking huge legacy that people still talk about to this day. I'm super curious how I would have felt about him if I actually watched him live, like during that run. But you know, I do. There's quite a few matches I do highly rate of him. You know, I like his John Cena feud. His Jeff Hardy feud was pretty fun. Trying to think, is there anything else? I guess the Bobby Lashley. I don't know what else there'd be.
Intensity and brutal in-ring style made him one of the most feared superstars of his era. But behind the destruction in the ring, Umaga was battling demons.
Aw.
WWE's grueling schedule and the physical toll of his matches led to a reliance on painkillers and other substances. In 2009, he was released for violating WWE's wellness policy and
There you
refusing
go. He
rehab.
violated it.
His career should
Damn.
have continued elsewhere, but instead, his story took a tragic turn.
A
On
couple
December 4,
months later,
2009,
yeah.
Umaga was found unresponsive in his Houston home. He had suffered a massive heart attack. He was
Oh.
rushed to the hospital and placed on life support, but doctors couldn't save him. Hours later, Umaga was pronounced dead at just
That's
36 years
tough.
old. The autopsy revealed the cause: acute toxicity of multiple drugs, including painkillers, muscle
Nice
relaxers,
stop.
and anxiety medication.
I forgot about this guy's fucking the stock videos. Autopsy. That's really hard to write fucking backwards, dude. That was impressive. How the fuck did you do that?
His passing sent shockwaves throughout the wrestling world. And up next, we have Alberto Del Rio cheats on Charlotte Flair
Charlotte?
backstage.
They were dating?
When Alberto Del Rio returned to
They were
WWE
not dating.
in 2015, it was rumored that he started an affair with Charlotte Flair. The two were supposedly not in any kind of relationship.
I don't remember that
It
at
was
all.
purely physical. Of course, the main issue
What the
was Del
fuck?
Rio was already a married man with kids. Alberto was married to a former model named Angela Valque. While Alberto reportedly fooled
What
around
the
with
fuck is
Charlotte,
this?
he began another affair with Paige. Alberto and Paige began to get serious, and when photos of the couple began to surface
Ooh,
online,
this was toxic.
Alberto's wife, Angela, was not the only one a bit shocked. Charlotte found out just like everybody else did, and most likely felt blindsided by it.
You can't say
That
most
started
likely.
backstage tensions between Charlotte and Paige, who were formerly good friends. Vince McMahon was
Did it
allegedly
actually?
told of the tensions between Paige and Charlotte and decided to book them in a match against each other. Apparently, Vince McMahon thought the real-life animosity between the two would make great television.
Which
And
one?
up next, we have the fabulous Moolah and Mae Young's secret lesbian relationship conspiracy.
What?
Theory. Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young are regarded as
You're gonna-
legends in women's wrestling. Pioneers
I don't
whose
want.
legacy
I don't
span-
want that picture in my head. That's like.
and decades. Throughout their lives, they were known to be inseparable best friends, both on and off the screen. They lived together, supported one another through the ups and downs of the wrestling world, and were even buried next to each other after their passing. However, some conspiracy theorists believe that their bond went far deeper than friendship. This theory suggests that the fabulous Moolah and Mae Young were actually in a romantic relationship. Over the years, numerous disturbing allegations have surfaced online.
Yeah, we know about the
Moolah,
allegations from
many
Moolah.
of which confirming that she was at least bi. As for Mae Young, she never married and never had any children, which fueled fan speculation even further. With their deep and personal connection, cohabitation, and lifelong loyalty to each other, some fans began to connect the dots, arguing that their relationship was not purely platonic, but rather a secret romantic partnership that was kept under wraps due to the social taboos of their era. While nothing has ever been confirmed, this theory persists, casting
maybe
a
they
new
actually-
layer of
Oh, I
mystery
don't
and
wanna think about
intrigue over
this.
two of women's wrestling's most iconic figures. And up next, we have Triple H married Stephanie McMahon purely for power conspiracy theory.
What proof
In
of there is there of
1996,
this?
Triple H was involved in the now infamous curtain call, a moment where he, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Shawn Michaels broke kayfabe at Madison Square
Yeah, we
Garden,
know.
embracing
Was
in
this not
front
on
of
the
the
list
live
already?
crowd in a move that defied everything the wrestling business. The top guy.
Skipping this
The
one.
never
There's
forgot
like, what
often
proof
after
is
the
there of
curtain
this?
call that he became ruthlessly political, doing whatever it took to ensure he never relationship with the boss's daughter, Stella. Some believe that nickname, even faking love to win the ultimate prize, control of WWE.
This entire time?
After he got with Stephanie, his reign of terror began. A period in the
203?
early 2000s where he
He
dominated
was
the
already
world
fucking
title
in
scene,
power.
often at the expense of rising stars. Over the years, he gradually moved behind the scenes, rising through WWE's corporate structure. Now with Vince essentially removed from the company following a series of scandals, Triple H is in charge, leading many to believe that his long-term plan succeeded and that marrying Stephanie was the ultimate power play. And up next, we have the real reason Shawn Michaels took a break from wrestling conspiracy theory. In 1998,
Is this a conspiracy? I thought this was like confirmed.
Shawn Michaels was
Oh,
forced
his back injury?
to step away from WWE because of back injuries. He was on the shelf for 4
Alright.
years and eventually returned to the ring in 2002. There are actually
Alright.
two popular conspiracy theories
Alright,
related
let's
to the
hear
real
'em.
reason why Shawn Michaels stepped away from the ring.
He was beat up by a bunch of Marines.
One of these theories believes that Shawn wasn't nearly as hurt as everyone thought, but he was running Vince up for essentially an extended vacation with pay, since he knew that Vince wouldn't want him to jump ship to WCW. The second conspiracy
Why would... But then it folded. Why would they keep him around? Why... It folded in 2001. He came back 2002. Why would they keep him around next... Like, why would they keep him away for an extra year?
is that Shawn Michaels was actually absent for so long to deal with his massive drug problem, which could have ended up really bad if he hadn't addressed it. Conspiracy theorists believe that it's too
I mean, I think he did while he was gone, but...
strange that Shawn Michaels came back just a few years from a career-threatening industry, and not only was he
Nice.
fine, but somehow an even better professional wrestler than he.
What the fuck? What is this? They couldn't believe he came back in such tip-top shape. Dude! From a career-threatening... Bro, do you know how injuries heal? You forgot the fact that our bodies can regenerate cells to build upon our cells and muscles? Like... Have you forgot how the human body works?
was before.
Fuck you mean that he came
Now
back from
next we
such a
have the
crazy
Brock
thing?
Lesnar
I
arrest.
forgot about this
Brock
arrest
Lesnar is
too.
one of the biggest names in the wrestling
These
industry.
guys do it. I don't care. We know who it is.
In 2000, and a year later, he was arrested by police in Louisville, Kentucky.
Whoa,
as they
for
suspected
what?
him of possessing large amounts of roids. However, the charges were dropped when it was found that the substances recovered were legal growth hormones.
Whoa, dude, he's all natty? That's insane. That's proof, man. That's
And he
proof
was
right
released
there.
with a clean slate. About a decade later, in 2011, Lesnar was charged with hunting violations
Oh,
during a
shit.
trip to Alberta in late 2010. Lesnar is known to be an avid hunter, and his love for outdoors got him in trouble. He pleaded guilty to a charge of improper tagging of an animal, which led to Lesnar paying a $1,700
Oh,
fine
dumbass.
and receiving a 6-month hunting suspension for the offense. And up next, we have the tragedy of Luna
Yeesh.
Vachon. Luna Vachon was one of the most unique and intense figures in wrestling
Yeah,
history.
she was a victim
With
of.
a raspy voice,
Yeah.
chaotic energy, and unmatched presence. she stood out
Super
in an
amazing
era
character,
where women in
super
wrestling were often
eye-catching
pushed aside.
character.
However, after a career in 2009, she suffered a devastating loss. Her home was destroyed in a fire, taking all of her wrestling memorabilia and personal possessions with it. The fire left her emotionally shattered, and despite support from friends like Mick Foley, the damage was done. Luna had completed rehab in 2009, with WWE even paying for her treatment, but the grip of addiction pulled her back in. She refused to return to wrestling, officially turning down an offer from TNA in early 2010.
Holy
Then, on August 26th,
fucking, of course TNA reached out to her in 2010. Of course they did. God, man. Fuck is wrong with them?
2010, tragedy struck. Luna was found dead in her Florida home by her mother.
Jesus.
She was just 48 years old, and the cause was an overdose of oxycodone and Xanax. Investigators found crushed pills and snorting straws in multiple locations, evidence of an addiction she had been fighting for years. And up next, we have the Ultimate Warrior blackmails.
This
Vince
is
McMahon.
awesome, actually.
Even though
This
the
is
Ultimate
really,
Warrior
this
was
is
one of
really
the biggest
funny.
stars in WWE during the late 80s and early 90s, behind the scenes, his relationship with Vince McMahon was extremely rocky. The most infamous example of this came in 1991, just before SummerSlam.
This is insane,
Warrior was
dude.
scheduled
I
to be
couldn't
in the main
imagine.
event, teaming with Hulk Hogan, but
He
according
was.
to reports, Warrior refused to perform unless Vince paid him a massive lump sum of money up front. Warrior demanded $550,000, claiming he deserved
In 91 is crazy. Asking for that much in 91 is insane, bro. That's like fucking, what, $1 million today?
for his role in the upcoming show and for his drawing power. Warrior refused to go
Up
through with the
front?
match
Are
unless
you
his demands were
serious?
met, essentially holding Vince and the entire show hostage. Not wanting to ruin the event, Vince gave in and paid Warrior the money, but as soon as the show was over, he fired him. While the Warrior would return to WWE later,
Twice.
the incident permanently damaged his reputation with management and became one of the most notorious backstage power plays in wrestling history. And up next, we have the Mark Jindrak Evolution Lost Media. Evolution
not
was a
Lost Media,
professional wrestling stable that was prominent between 2003 to 2005.
You literally just put Lost Media to make it sound more intriguing, bro. It's just like B-roll that they filmed.
Consisting of Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista. When Batista suffered 2 tricep injuries that took him out of action for months, WWE considered replacing him with Mark Jindrak.
Holy
They
fucking
even
whiff.
filmed vignettes featuring Jindrak as the 4th man
Look
in
at that.
Evolution.
That's so
title.
weird.
But because Jindrak was replaced in Evolution before
What
ever
is he
making his
doing
debut
there?
with the stable,
Blood thinks he's on the team, bro. Get this fucking guy out of here, man.
the vignettes featuring him were never used in the final
That's
Evolution
insane,
Titantron.
dude.
The iconic Titantron with the helicopter and nightclub clips ended up only containing the trio. When Batista was ready to return, WWE simply spliced footage of him into the original vignette. To
Whoa,
this day,
you
the
know
footage
what?
of Jindrak
I never noticed that. The Titantron never actually featured fucking Batista. Whoa. That's pretty interesting. Look at this photo, dude. This is so cursed. This is so
in those
cursed.
early Evolution vignettes have never been released. And up next we have Shawn
Wait, what?
Michaels.
Yeah, they have.
Early
You just-
Evolution vignettes have never been yet. To this day, the footage of Jindrak in those early Evolution vignettes have never been released. To the turn up that will never replace WWE Batista to 2000.
They just did you not
Deciding him with Evolution's Titan track.
did you not show it?
Vignettes featuring him were never used.
This is literally the footage he's talking about. Fuck you mean they were never released? You're literally this is a still image from the video. What the fuck? That's literally from it.
Of Jindrak
Oh
in those
shit!
early
The next
Evolution
one.
Vignettes have never been released.
Wait.
And up next, we have Shawn Michaels beat up by 6 Marines. Many times in the 90s, Shawn Michaels would get into a lot of trouble, but he was always surrounded by the clique.
Oh my
They
god.
often acted as a barrier for Michaels, keeping him
Holy.
grounded and out of trouble to the best of
Look
their
at this
ability.
dude, dumpster drills he doing
However,
that
in the
photo.
autumn of 1995, the rest of
This
the
is-
clique were
this
off
is-
on a
I love
European
this fucking
tour,
story.
while Michaels was working the US house show circuits. After one of the shows, Michaels went to a club with a few wrestlers, and after heavy drinking and partying, he decided that he wanted to find a girl to hook up with. He targeted the girl on the dance floor and approached her, but was quickly confronted by her boyfriend, who just happened to be a US Marine. Despite being warned not to talk to her, Michaels went ahead anyway, and the two got into a scuffle. A bouncer stepped in and kicked both men out the club, but waiting outside were 5 more Marines, friends of the man Michaels had just confronted. The 6 Marines beat the living crap out of Shawn Michaels, leaving him with a torn eyelid, black eyes, and other minor injuries. On TV, the events were glorified in Michaels' favor to explain his broken face, but after the Marine in question threatened a lawsuit, the storyline was dropped quickly.
Holy, I didn't know
Following the
that
incident,
part.
Michaels relinquished the Intercontinental Championship due to being unable to compete. However, the real-life beating led to his babyface turn, gaining him sympathy from fans, eventually leading him to winning the Royal Rumble the following year and capturing the WWE Championship
because
at
of that.
WrestleMania.
Could you imagine?
Next, we have
Can you imagine that in any other sport, dude? Fun guy to give it the belt because he was jumped by a bunch of Marines for hitting on his girl. This is crazy.
David
This one,
Schultz
Dave Schultz slaps the reporter. This is
Schultz was a
awesome,
wrestler
actually. I
who
love
competed
this.
in many promotions during the 1970s and 80s.
This guy's
including
insane.
His most well-known stint in the Hart family Stampede Wrestling promotion. He eventually joined WWE, but something happened that would forever alter his career. In 1984, ABC ran a story aiming to expose the behind-the-scenes aspects of the professional wrestling business. During a WWE house show at Madison Square Garden, reporter John Stossel went backstage to gather material for his expose on pro wrestling.
Yeah, you asked the
When
wrong
Stossel
fucking
started
person
interviewing
about
David
it.
Schultz, who had wrestled at the event,
You
things
asked
got
the
heated.
wrong
Things took a
person.
violent turn when Stossel told Schultz that he believed that wrestling was fake, which prompted Schultz to slap Stossel twice in the head.
Oh!
After the second slap, Stossel ran off as Schultz continued yelling at him. As a result of the incident, Schultz was suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission, and John
Dude, the
Stossel
commission
filed a
stepped
lawsuit
in?
against the WWE, though it was later settled out of court. Despite claiming that WWE management told him to hit Stossel, Schultz was fired from the company. And up next we have Bam Bam
They
Big.
told him to hit him? I don't think they did. I don't know the whole details of the story of that, but that one was crazy, and I'm sad about this. Rest in peace,
Bigelow.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bam Bigelow was a
This guy was
one-of-a-kind
awesome.
athlete, a 400-pound monster who moved with the agility of a cruiserweight. But behind his intimidating persona was a man whose body and mind were breaking down. By the early 2000s, Bigelow's career had slowed down due to numerous injuries. Years of punishment, high-risk moves, and a physically demanding style had taken their toll. Like many wrestlers of his era, he turned to painkillers and other substances to cope. And on January 19, 2007, Bam Bam Bigelow was found dead in his home at just 45 years old. The autopsy revealed a lethal combination of coke and Xanax in his system. His death was ruled as accidental. And up next we have Alicia Fox.
Ooh, this is tough.
Alicia Fox joined WWE
I don't think there's any
in
footage of this, but
2006
yeah,
and
this
was a
this
member
this
of the
sucks.
Ohio Valley Wrestling roster before jumping ship to the main roster, where she made a name for herself. However, Alicia Fox's time on the main roster wasn't always smooth, and she was on thin ice several times due to her behavior. The worst of these incidents came in 2019, when she showed up to a live event intoxicated, under the influence of alcohol. She was scheduled to wrestle a match, and Arn Anderson was the agent assigned to the match that she was involved in. Despite a condition, Arn Anderson allowed her to compete, which led to major backlash. When WWE chairman Vince
Not the
McMahon
right
found
move.
out, he was furious. As a result, Arn Anderson was fired from WWE,
Yeah.
despite having worked with the company for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And
that
up next
sucks.
we have Enzo.
At least, but then he'd go on to be part of AEW, and that turned out really well for him. So good timing, really good timing. If you're gonna get someone to wrestle intoxicated, February 2019 was the right time to do so. Otherwise, you would have had to been in TNA, and I would not have wanted to do that at the time.
Amore S.A. Enzo
This
Amore
this
and
this.
Big Cass were one of the
Yeah,
most
I mean, this is a
popular
thing
tag
that
teams during
happened.
the 2010s era. With Enzo Amore
Crazy tag. It's I can't believe it's been almost 10 years now since this tag team, dude. But they really weren't special in the ring. But man, their promos were just so captivating.
being the biggest
Yeah.
star of the two.
Insane to look
Unfortunately,
back
in
on
January
now.
of 2018, a woman publicly accused Enzo Amore of SA-ing her in a hotel room in Phoenix, Arizona in 2017. The accuser, identified as Philomena
Oh!
Sheehan, claimed
I
that
didn't know the
Amore and his
woman's
friends
name.
had lured her into the room where the alleged assault took place.
I didn't.
She also
you
stated
didn't
that she
have
was
to.
incapacitated.
You didn't have to say the woman's name, did you? Also, she did a TMZ Sports interview. That's how I know, like, Never mind.
And unable to give consent.
You'll see.
Sheehan shared her account on social media, detailing the alleged incident. Her
Maybe
post
just
quickly went viral,
TMZ
leading
picked
to
it up then and just put
significant
their fucking
backlash against
stupid
Amore.
watermark over it.
WWE initially suspended Amore, stating their zero-tolerance policy for matters involving SA. But then, just a day after suspending...
Oh! Zero tolerance policy revolving matters involving SA. That's crazy. That's an insane statement regarding today, man. That is not aged well.
WWE announced that they had terminated
fucked
Amore's
up.
contract, citing his failure to inform the company of the ongoing police investigation prior to the public accusation. While the WWE did not explicitly state his guilt, the company made it clear that withholding such information breached their trust. The Phoenix Police Department conducted an investigation into the allegations, but after several months, they concluded that there was insufficient evidence to proceed with the charges, and the case was officially closed, with no charges against Enzo Amore. And up next we have Nails assault Vince McMahon.
Here, Sarah Child, you want to know why Nails was like not a good narrator?
In December of 1992, during a
this
TV
fucking
taping in
guy,
Green
man.
Bay, former WWE wrestler Nails confronted Vince McMahon backstage over unpaid compensation. According to Nails, he had been promised money that had never materialized, and something broke inside him when he decided to demand what he was owed face to face. Nails said that he burst into Vince's office, demanded payment, and grabbed Vince McMahon by the neck, lifting him off his chair,
Bruh!
with Vince McMahon allegedly being thrown to the ground and punched. After the assault, Nails went straight to the phone to call the police, accusing Vince McMahon of assault.
Nice.
The incident led to Nails' immediate firing, followed by lawsuits by both parties. Nails sued for wrongful termination, while WWE counterclaimed. All legal action was eventually dropped. Looking back years later, Nails said that he doesn't regret the confrontation.
Holy shit, that's what he looks like
calling
now?
it necessary because McMahon owed him money, and most wrestlers were afraid to stand up to him.
Hey, listen, man. Like, you're not gonna get any like fucking hatred for assaulting Vince McMahon these days. So.
And up next, we have the John Cena Golden Shovel conspiracy theory.
Fuck is
Behind the
this?
smiling face and the never
He
give
just
up
buries
slogans
people?
lies one of the most infamous reputations in modern wrestling lore.
This
John
is actually-
Cena and
this
his
is pretty funny,
so-called
too.
Golden Shovel. The term became symbolic of his alleged backstage influence, a power many believed he used to bury rising stars and
I don't
kill
think
momentum
I don't buy this one. I don't think he actually had like a big backstage influence. I think he did come up with some ideas. I think the Nexus thing that people talk about a lot, and then he himself will tell you like, okay, that wasn't a good idea.
Its tracks. Names like Wade Barrett,
Yeah,
and the rest
yeah,
of
the
Nexus, Rusev, Bray Wyatt,
Didn't bury him that
Damian
hard.
Sandown, Jack Swagger,
Damian Sandow,
Alex Riley, and more.
Alex,
Will see-
okay, Jack Swagger, Alex Riley, fuck you, man. Good. I'm glad he buried those two.
As casualties of the Golden Shovel.
Oh,
Wrestlers who had
man.
white-hot momentum,
Holy
only
shit.
to be
Remember these? Who was this? Was this Felania? Is this a Felania video
decisively
thumbnail?
defeated by
That's
Cena
awesome.
when it mattered most. Critics argue that Cena's clean wins often came at the expense
Bruh.
of long-term storytelling and the
Where's this
future of
quality?
the roster. Still today, the legend of the Golden Shovel lives on.
Taker threatens Michael's WrestleMania 14. I remember this story.
By the time WrestleMania 14 rolled around, Shawn Michaels was known for being a backstage menace. Arrogant, erratic, and notoriously difficult to work with. And on that night, the stakes were huge. HBK was set to defend the WWE Championship against a red-hot Stone Cold Steve Austin, in what was supposed to be a passing of the torch moment, but no one really trusted him to do the right thing. Still riding heat from his role in the Montreal Screwjob months earlier, many backstage feared
That's
that Michaels
crazy.
would pull
Could you
something
imagine?
shady, or outright refuse to.
Could you imagine being the next guy to booked to go over Shawn Michaels after that? I didn't even think about that, dude. Like, you see that go down, and then like you're Steve Austin, you see that go down, and you're like told, yeah, man, you're gonna be Michaels. Yeah, you will. Don't worry, you will. That's insane.
To put Austin over.
Actually, good
One
for
man
Undertaker
wasn't
for doing
taking any
this.
chances, and that man was The Undertaker. As the story goes, Taker sat in the locker room, taping up his fist while staring straight at Shawn as he was about to head out to the crowd. It wasn't a bluff, it was a warning. If Michaels didn't do the job, the dead man would have handled it his own way. HBK later confirmed that The Undertaker made it clear to everyone, if Austin didn't walk out as champion, he was gonna knock Shawn's head off the moment he came through the curtain. With Mike Tyson at ringside, Vince watching closely, and The Undertaker literally preparing to throw fists backstage, Shawn played it straight that night and dropped the belt to Austin. And up next, we have the Yokozuna death. Yokozuna was a force unlike any other in WWE history. Standing at over 500 pounds, he moved with an agility
Big
that
man.
defied his size. But behind the dominance was a
This guy was
man
pretty
battling
cool.
his own body.
I think he was a pretty cool like character for the time, honestly. I think that run he had was I would have liked watching his squash matches. That's all I'm saying.
As in 1998,
How fucking big the guy is,
Yokozuna's
you know?
weight had
Like
spiraled out of control, and WWE released him after doctors warned of serious health risks.
that
Despite
does suck
attempts
though,
to
yeah.
lose weight
Holy
and return,
shit, he got big.
he continued wrestling on the independent circuit, unable to let go of the business, but his body just couldn't keep up. Then, on October 23, 2000, tragedy struck. While in Liverpool, England, Yokozuna passed away in his hotel room from pulmonary edema, a condition where fluid builds up in the lungs, making it impossible to breathe. He was just 34 years old. And up
Whoa.
next, we have the Sonya Deville
Yo,
attempted
this
kidnapping.
was
Sonya
mental.
Deville signed with WWE in 2015, but in 2020, she faced one of the scariest moments of her life.
Fuck,
In August
yo.
of that year, a man from South Carolina was arrested for attempting to kidnap her. Philip Thomas, 24, had allegedly been stalking Sonya on social media for years and planning the abduction for over 8 months. He drove from South Carolina to a home in Lutz, Florida, and parked at a nearby church. Armed with a knife, mace, and duct tape, he cut a hole in the patio screen and waited outside. At 2:43 a.m., he entered through the sliding glass door, setting off the home's alarm system. Sonya and her guest, fellow WWE star Mandy Rose, managed to escape and call 911 just in time. When deputies arrived, Thomas admitted that he had driven out of state with the intention of taking Sonya hostage. He was charged and later pleaded guilty to attempted kidnapping, aggravated stalking, and armed burglary. Thomas was sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Wow,
And
15 years. Holy
We're moving
shit.
down the iceberg into tier
Tier
6,
3, baby.
with our first entry on tier 6 being William Reed.
This is how we're starting. This is how we're starting.
Regal involved in Chris Benoit death conspiracy theory. When WWE
Did you
aired
just
a tribute show
combine-
for Chris Benoit
Never
on
mind.
June 25, 2007, before the horrific truth had finally surfaced, most wrestlers delivered emotional tributes, reminiscing about Benoit's in-ring skill and friendship. But one tribute stood out, that of William Regal. While others spoke warmly and nostalgically about Chris Benoit, Regal's demeanor
I don't
was
even wanna,
noticeably different.
like-
He looked tense, distant, almost as if he was choosing his words carefully. Unlike his colleagues, he didn't call Benoit a great man or father, nor did he share personal stories. Instead, he simply said, "Now all I'm willing to say is that Chris Benoit was undoubtedly the hardest working man in professional wrestling.
You even
And
put
that's
man in
all
the
I've really got
quote,
to say at the
Age
moment."
of wrestling. Come on,
The
man.
tone and delivery felt off. At the time, many viewers didn't think much of it, but when the real details of the case emerged, Regal's reaction took on a whole new meaning. Why was he so reserved compared to others? And why did he seem to be holding back? This led to wild speculation, some even suggesting that Regal knew something before the full story came out. Adding to this, Regal lived in the same Atlanta area as Benoit.
Did he
making some
actually?
wonder if he had heard rumors or disturbing signs before the news broke.
Holy
Others
shit,
took it
bro.
further,
You knew.
with theories implying that Regal was involved in some way.
Oh my
And up
god.
next we have Roddy Piper.
Yo,
Blackface.
nah.
Roddy
We
Piper
can't
was
show
known for
this.
his wild promos and mind games, but during his
It was about more than that. Oh, this is
feud
terrible.
with Bad
This was
News Brown,
terrible. This is
things
actually
went a
really
little bit
terrible.
too far. For their WrestleMania 6 match, Piper appeared in a bizarre look, painting half his body black. He even wrestled the entire match like this,
Oh my God, why
supposedly
did
to
he
play
do that?
psychological warfare against his opponent. The strangest part, Piper was booked as the babyface in the feud, making the decision even more confusing. In later interviews, Piper gave half-baked explanations for the stunt, but none of it really justified what
Yeah,
happened.
it's like, oh, you know, it was a metaphor for like how we come together. It doesn't matter what you look like. It's just about your character and. Oh fuck! That was fucking not good.
This segment aged terribly, and in 2021, WWE removed the promo and match from streaming platforms
That's
like
crazy.
Peacock, clearly acknowledging how tone-deaf the moment was. Today, it stands as one of the most controversial missteps in wrestling history. And up next, we have the Melina Leaks.
Oh, for fuck's
Former
sake.
WWE superstar Melina won 3
Oh.
women's championships and 2
Is this gonna be
Divas
our last
titles
one?
in WWE, so she is somewhat of a big deal in women's wrestling. However, in 2017, nude pictures of her leaked, and these images were
I didn't
only
even see
intended
these.
for a significant other.
I actually
In a
have,
candid
I never
interview,
even see.
Melina spoke out, calling the incident horrific and comparing it to her past when she was R-worded. Melina also explained that she had
Ow.
refused Playboy offers
That's
in the
terrible.
past because she wanted her body to be shared only with someone that she loved, not the world.
That
This
sucks.
incident left a lasting emotional mark, but she ultimately found strength in coping with it and speaking out. And up next, we have Randy Savage giving Hulk Hogan a black eye before
This is also
WrestleMania
really
9
fucking funny.
conspiracy theory.
Dude, look at the
After
shiner
stepping
this
away
guy
from the
has,
ring
bro.
at WrestleMania
This will be the
8,
last one.
Hulk Hogan made his big return a year later at WrestleMania 9, teaming
Look
with
at that
Brutus Beefcake
fucking
against Money
eye,
Inc.
dude.
But when Hogan showed up, fans noticed something
Oh!
strange. He had a nasty black eye. The kayfabe explanation was that Ted DiBiase paid off some thugs to rough Hogan up before the
Look
match.
at that!
But the official story from Hogan
Woo!
himself is that he got into a jet ski accident. But of course, there's a conspiracy theory that says otherwise.
I think I believe
According
this
to
one,
the
honestly.
rumor, Randy Savage punched Hogan in the face after finding out that Miss Elizabeth had left him due to Linda, Hogan's influence. Some even speculate that Hogan and Elizabeth were secretly having an affair, and when Savage found out, he gave Hogan the black eye himself. The truth has never been confirmed, but to this day, fans still debate what really
Man, it's not no
happened.
jet ski accident. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here.
And up next,
Oh, that's terrible. I'm gonna leave it on this. These are awesome, man. I can't wait till we get really deep into it. There's still another part 2 video. I'm so excited to get into like more of this shit, man. That's fantastic. Subscribe to Age of Wrestling. He does a bunch of these Iceberg videos all the time. I love watching these guys. These are awesome binge watches. Leave a comment what you think about the video. What you think of this video, what you think of my video, what you think of, you know, any video, really. Playlist, stream highlights, video, YouTube, things you'll like. Subscribe right here. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more from the channel. But that's going to do it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.